Welcome to the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode number 95. I'm your boy, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. I am joined once again by my main man, the F Man, OVG, OurViewGaming himself. Finest dabs.
Yo, good morning.
All right, today on the show, we will be talking about E3 making a comeback and if it's really needed and if they're just wasting their time, and the current state of GameStop with its stocks and its recent layoffs. But first, what I'd like to do is thank everyone. If you are listening, there will be a link in the show notes where you can watch the show, see our beautiful faces for video if you want to do that. If you are watching the show, we are available on all podcasting platforms Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we are there. So just wanted to get that out the way for you. If you have any questions, you can email us, gameandwatchpodcast@gmail.com. If you are watching us live, we will read any comments that you guys put, regardless of whatever platform you're watching on, at the end of the show. Oh, and we have a Patreon. Patreon, any dollar donated to our Patreon, us the host or you the listener or viewer. And lastly, if you want to follow us on our personal social media platforms or whatever, links to that will also be in the video description and show notes as well. So with all that out of the way, F man, how you been, dude? How's the new father life again?
Uh, yeah, the continued father life is exhausting. Yeah, a lot of times, just up with the kid in the middle of the night, and yeah, just leaving even less time for gaming, which is okay. My oldest, my 3 year old, sometimes is he asks me to play games. Like he's like, hey,
Well, that's
let's
good.
play. He's like, let's play some video games. I'm like, no.
You tell
like
him no. Oh man.
no, you're not allowed. No, because he will be addicted. I already see it. These kids these days are addicted to tablets
Oh,
and
yeah, it's worse than
just
ever. Yeah, my daughter
yeah.
loves her tablet.
Yeah. And my son, at 3 years old, is already asking for, like, he's like, "Where's the tablet?" And honestly, we don't even use it that much, or like around him. Like if we go on a road trip or something, he
Yeah.
gets to use it. And other than that, like, he doesn't get to use it at the house. We may pop it out at a restaurant, like
Hmm.
maybe, but he has like a full bag of toys and stuff like that. But I know that's not why you came here. We came to talk about games.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, the
Yeah.
kid's doing well. But how about yourself? How you doing?
I'm good. Just just getting through another work week on overtime this week. So I'm getting ready for that, and then
Mhm.
just had a good weekend. Visited family, visited some friends. So we are all good there. Um, just to go back to the tablet, yeah, my daughter, she loves her tablet. But I mean, me growing up, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just a different breed, but I didn't really have like a handheld or anything like that. I was addicted to. I mean, if you remember us growing up, I didn't have
We
a
didn't
Game
have
Boy.
tablets.
Yeah, well, I mean,
There's no
I'm
such
talking.
there's no such thing as a tablet when we were
Well, I
growing
mean,
up.
even like a Game Boy, just to put a little bit of my gaming history out there.
Yeah.
I didn't my first Game Boy system was actually a Game Boy Advance that I got in 2003, my senior year of high school. So yeah,
Yeah.
I even think growing up, I don't even think I had really any desire to play the Game Boy. I don't think I ever asked to play yours.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if you would have had one, you would have been addicted. Like, the
Yeah,
only thing
well,
that ever stopped me from playing my Game Boy was was the fact that the batteries would die. Like, that's the only thing, and it would take so many batteries to get back up and
yeah,
running. So,
yeah.
um,
Batteries
yeah,
are expensive. They were expensive then. They're expensive now.
yeah,
All right. So have you had a chance to play any games this week, or
yeah. So, jump back into Elden Ring. Once
Elden
again,
Ring? Oh man.
yeah, I'm the astrologer class. I'm getting my ass kicked. It's so I tried to go up against Marguerite. That didn't work. So I'm very much, like, at this point, just trying to farm runes. So and I'm still trying to find like the best locations to do that. I have a couple guides, but yeah, I don't know. It's going okay. I'm not having a great time, but I'm so early on. I'm probably only about like 3 hours in. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, I'm just really right now. I'm just really exploring and seeing what's the best place to farm. My magic is pretty powerful, like right out the gates, which is nice. I do have a sword, also, but I really just try to focus on using my magic spells. Yeah, but other than that, what are you playing, man?
Right now I am. I don't know. I think I got beat 'em up fever. I've downloaded a couple more beat 'em ups. I downloaded one game I saw on sale on the PlayStation Store called The Takeover. That's
Hmm.
a pretty interesting beat 'em up. And then I think we talked a while back about Cobra Kai, the old beat 'em up video game that came out almost 2 years ago now.
Hmm.
We'll be getting into that in a bit, but I started playing that again because I never beat the game. So I wanted to give that one a go. So started playing that one, and then believe it or not, I started playing Sonic Mania.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
never that was another game I haven't beaten. So I'm just right now I'm really just trying to go through my backlog of games, see what games I want to beat and defeat, and to just go from there. I think Sonic Mania. I think I'm almost done with it.
Okay.
I think I'm on the last zone. I think it's the Metallic Madness zone or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, just I don't like. I need to find after I beat it. I think I'm gonna try to get some cheat codes so I can get some infinite lives. But the zones, very well designed game. It's great for the most
Yeah,
part. I really,
Sonic Mania is fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, it's a very good game. And I'm playing the plus version because I got the physical copy on my Switch. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I've just been playing through that, and then I believe, and then obviously Shredder's Revenge. That never gets old. I'm going to be playing that
No.
at least several times a week. Just I can't wait for the physical copy to come out so I can start playing with people on Switch.
Yeah, I can't wait to purchase that either. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
then just
just
speaking of beat 'em ups real quick.
mm,
Yeah, I just picked up Scott Pilgrim versus the World again because I had it for my PS3, but it
uh,
was on sale for $5 at the PlayStation Store
mm,
right now. So I bought that. I bought that also. I
oh
was like,
wow,
oh, because I didn't want to pay. I was like, dude, I'm not paying $20 for this game again. you know,
yeah,
like I'm like, no way. I'm not paying $20 for it. Like I don't even think it should have came out at $20.
yeah,
For the re-release on PlayStation 4
yeah,
and PlayStation 5. But
yeah.
now, yeah, it was on sale for $5. So
Yeah, I still want to get a River City Girls. I know that second it's going to be coming out soon. So
yeah, I
yeah,
think this
yeah.
is the third one, right?
No, it's the
River
second.
City. Is it
River
the last one?
City.
Was in River City Girls too? Okay, I could be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's jump into some new game announcements. So a couple, there's a few games that were announced. One was quietly announced, and this is a game I was just talking about. Cobra Kai 2, JoJo's Rising is coming. Looks like it's gonna start retailing for $50. It's gonna be coming this fall. If you guys follow the Cobra Kai show, you know that the new season will start on September 5th. So I think the game will come out sometime after that. Um, Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid Saga continues was the first game that came out. And it was all right game. I mean, I didn't get into it too deep. I'm trying to get through it right now just to see how the game story goes compared to the actual story on the Netflix series. So
Mhm.
Flux Game Studio is the developer for the game, and I don't think it's a bad beat 'em up. It's actually it's a middle of the line. It's not great. It's not bad either. It's not bad like that Power Rangers Mega Battle game that came out years back. That game was awful. But if it's any game they need to redo is that Power Rangers game. They can make that a lot better. But back to Cobra Kai. It looks like the roster will be full of 28 characters. You choose
Mhm.
your dojos between, not to give away too much of the show, but if you guys do watch the show, the three dojos being Cobra Kai, obviously Miyagi Do and Eagle Fang Karate. And I haven't seen any like gameplay for it or previews for it yet, but I'm sure they will be coming soon. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Do you watch any Cobra Kai, or are you into
Yeah,
it or
yeah.
anything?
I've seen all the seasons.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess Cobra Kai. I mean, out of the show, Cobra Kai is the best one. Miyagi Do, can't stand them. Eagle Fang was kind of a joke last season, but based on the first game, and I'm on the opposite end of you. The
Mm,
first game I think was hot trash. I think it was
mm.
like not one of the better beat 'em ups. Um,
I said
not
middle of the line, but yeah,
you
okay.
said middle. You said middle of the line, and I mean, some people must have picked it up. With
Yeah,
the
for them to
with
make
the
another one, they must have made quite a bit of money.
yeah, for how hot the show is, yeah,
Mm,
it looks like a good amount of people picked it up. Um, yeah, just based on the first game, I'm not really not looking forward to this one. But
okay.
it's very much an indie title. There's not a like, you know, this isn't like a huge like brawler game. This isn't like Ninja Turtles or anything like that. Even though
No.
like Ninja Turtles was still on the lower spectrum of beat 'em ups in terms of
Mm.
like big companies that do it, like Tribute Games and Domamu is
Dot email, dot email. I
dot
got the.
dot emu. That's how I've always pronounced it. Oh well.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still relatively small companies, but I would say the company making Cobra Kai 2 is even smaller than that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's something to be on the lookout for. I mean, retailing at $50. I mean, I may hold off a bit before
yeah, that
I don't think
price
it'll
is
be.
yeah,
It's a pretty steep price, so I need to
yeah.
see what's in this game before picking it up. But looks like it's gonna be available on all consoles, even the Switch. So let's be on the lookout for that. More titles that were announced this past week on PlayStations, and looks like they got some more indie games coming uh, to their platform. Sea of Stars is coming to the PS4 and PS5. Skim is also coming. Cult of the Lamb is coming out on August 11th. Signalis is coming to the PS4 and I guess PS5 this October. The Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition, that's going to be launching this September. Curse to Golf releases next month in August 18th to be exact. And a game that one of our frequent guests, Matt Bliss, was talking about, Inscription. He played a lot of this last year. It's coming to the PS4 and PS5. Looks like it's been announced. No release date at this time. Looks like they just dropped this thing out of nowhere. I mean, it wasn't like a
Yeah, it was a blog
sort.
post.
It
Yeah.
was just a blog post, but I mean, yeah. So I don't think a lot of people know about this. Yeah, but some of these games we already did see. Curse to Golf looks all right. I mean, I probably won't pick it up unless it like goes on sale dirt cheap. And then I do want to give Inscription a try because
Hmm.
Matt was always raving about it last year or so. Looks like a pretty good game. Any game on this list that you're interested in?
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of them. Just to bring it back up real quick. I mean,
Mm,
Inscription, of course, was like on fire last year. Everyone was talking about that game. Who played it? So very much looking forward to that one right there. Yep, there it goes. And then on top of Inscription, I mean, all these are like just really great indie games. There's Cursed Golf.
mm,
Looks like a ton of fun. Very interesting game from Devolver. So Devolver Digital. I mean, they've been like killing it in with their games, and they also have that other game, the Curse of the Lamb. I think it
mm.
was called. Um, oh no, Cult. I'm sorry, Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, Cult of the
Yeah,
Lamb. Yeah.
that game looks like I'm a sucker for hand drawn animation, and that game looks like a ton of fun. Like if you haven't seen the trailers for that one, I would definitely look at the trailers because it looks hilarious. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a good set of games right here. Um, Sea of Stars also looked pretty good, but yeah, I would have to say those are probably like my top ones out of those indie games dropping on PlayStation. And I'd be surprised to see if any of them come to Game Pass because if they did, I'd probably renew my Game Pass subscription.
Yeah, definitely. All right, but yeah, so oh yeah, back to going back to Curse the golf for a minute. That guy looks dressed like Mario. I don't know what it is, but like
He's wearing a golf outfit.
well, it's red. I don't know. Well, looks like Mario Golf is condemned or something. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
I can see it. I can see it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, and maybe that's because Mario's had enough golf titles, in the course of over the years. So all right, moving on. Skull and Bones gameplay revealed, and we're also talking about some other Ubisoft titles that are in development. And I saw the gameplay, and this game has been under development for 5 years. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you're a Sea of Thieves fan, I would just stick with the Sea of Thieves after seeing that. I mean, I'm not to bash the game or anything, but I don't. I think the naval combat from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was just a little, maybe not overrated, but maybe just a little overhyped a bit. And it's gonna be PvP, which should be fun. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just not. There's nothing in that game trailer that told me, Justin, pre-order this game. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'll just wait for a price cut if it does happen to be better than I thought. But I'm just
Well,
being honest. It's not a day
yeah.
one pickup for me.
I mean, it is going to be a live service game. I don't know. I don't think the Assassin's Creed naval combat was overhyped. I think for a
Mm,
console, especially, and a game that was predicated like on a land-based game, you didn't get that was the first game with like real ships,
mm.
that you can play. Unless it was
No,
there
Assassin's
was
Creed Brotherhood had a little
Brotherhood.
bit of it. Yeah, Brotherhood had a little bit of it too. And I play.
Not
I can confirm because I played it recently. So.
in the way that four did Black Flag. I don't remember it.
Mm,
I don't
okay.
remember it in the same vein. But I mean, yeah, like you said, you played it recently. I haven't played it in years, so I'll trust you on that one. But yeah, I think the naval combat in Black Flag was done so well.
Mm,
The only thing is, we're talking about 5 years later.
yeah.
So now it's 5 years later.
No, five
We're
years since
getting
development. It was like, actually, we're talking like 8 years later because I want to say Black Flag came out in 2014. I could be wrong, but
yeah, but it's
uh,
since they announced Skull
oh,
and
since they
Bones.
announced it, okay, okay,
Yeah,
not
so
since,
it's
okay.
been 5 years since they announced. They announced it in 2017.
Mm,
Um, yeah, so I think I don't know. I think it's too early to determine. We don't know what that game is. We don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, we know what it's going to look like, but we don't know how it's going to play. Um, you know, for knowing you, I know naval combat isn't going to be your thing. But I mean, if you enjoy the naval combat in Black Flag, this could be a go-to. And this is going to be a live service game, so it's going to be your ship. They said your ship is your way of travel, and your ship is your character. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's too early to write it off altogether. I think you just know if this is your type
yeah,
of game, and of course, if this isn't your type of game right off the bat, like if like naval ship combat isn't for you right off the bat, then of course, yeah, you're gonna kind of be written off.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I mean, there's games out there for everybody. We are going to go through some of the list of games that are currently under development through Ubisoft right now. Of course, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Skull and Bones, both of which are coming later this year. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Oddballers, Rocksmith Plus, Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland, Assassin's Creed Infinity, Assassin's Creed VR, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Prince of Persia: The Sand of Time remake, which who knows when that's gonna come out. Project Q, The Settlers, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Frontline, uh, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell remake, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell VR. Ubisoft Star Wars. Looks like they got a Star Wars game coming. X Defiant. And that's it. Yeah. X Defiant. So with those games I listed off, which one are you looking forward to the most? Oh,
Well, let's see.
besides
Intel.
besides the two coming out later this year, the ones that don't have dates yet.
Okay, now you just made my decision even harder. Um, I would have to say, well, there's three coming out this year, right?
Oh yeah.
There's
Well,
the
I think
Mario,
the
there's
Mario.
Avatar, and then
Oh yeah, the
there's
Avatar doesn't have a date, but it's coming out later this year.
yeah,
Well, it
they
hasn't
said
been
yeah,
delayed yet,
winter.
but and
Yeah, hasn't been
Oddballers
delayed
is
yet.
also coming. And Oddballers is coming later this year too. So
Yeah, so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and just choose them out of all the games.
all right, fine. Do what you want. I try to make it harder,
um,
but I try to make it harder.
yeah, no. If I had to be excited for something, I would probably say the the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell remake. If I had to just choose one out of everything, Splinter Cell, the original PlayStation One version was kind of
Mhm.
overhyped, but I think it was Splinter Cell on PS3. I forget the name of it. Let's see. But anyway, I think that one. I think I'd be excited to see another. Um, I think I'd be excited to see another version of that, like in full HD, running at 60 frames per second. And just high fidelity. Yeah, I think that would be pretty awesome. In addition to that, Assassin's Creed Infinity. Curious to see what that would bring, but I think those are going to be my biggest two if I had to choose out of this list.
All right. I guess for me, obviously, well. Since I'll just go through the whole list, I'm looking forward to Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Combat it looks a little different than the previous one. I would say if you haven't played the first one, if you have a Switch, I would definitely give it a try. It goes on sale a lot, and you can probably find it real cheap right now. So, or the Switch right now, so I'm just being honest. Another one, even though I'm not 100% sold on VR, I'm a little curious to see what the Assassin's Creed VR game would be like. I'm just like not so much excited that I'd go out and buy it, but I'm just excited to just see like, all right, how are they gonna make this VR? I'm a big
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed fan, so that's just like one of those. Let me see how this really works out. So that one. So that one, and I guess I'll do a third one. The next Assassin's Creed Infinity game. That
yeah,
looks pretty cool. Also, um, I'm a little I'm a little surprised that they're doing a Star Wars game, but I mean right
mm,
now there are a lot of good Star Wars games out there. Knights of the Old Republic 2 if you got the Switch, and then of course those Lego Star Wars games. Those games are I don't think have gotten enough praise this year. Those are some really good games if you want to play some good Star Wars games. But yeah, um, but yeah, Ubisoft's they're doing the thing. They got a lot of games in development, not just the same Dance game they put out every year.
hey, that game does well.
Yeah, I guess they're postponing that one till next year, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're still making copies for the Wii. That's out.
Hey, when a game's killing it, a game's killing it. No, you don't want to take it off the shelves. You got to make that
Oh
money.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, I'm surprised neither one of us said Beyond Good or Evil too.
Oh,
When do you think that one's coming out?
when was it announced?
Oh God. That was announced in 2008,
Oh boy.
and we got a trailer for it. It was officially revealed in 2017. Um,
Announced in
on,
9 years to get a trade. Oh wow, that's. I don't think it's coming out anytime. So I would say hopefully no later than 2024. I'll put it out there.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can definitely see.
I'm hoping.
possibly 2024, but I still don't think it's coming out 2024. Like that game, we just haven't like we saw the trailer like three, what was it? The, no, 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. Actually, it has been 5 years. We saw the trailer 5 years ago, and we haven't seen anything else about it. Yeah, that game must be in like development hell. So not yeah, I'm shocked that we haven't seen anything about that game. It's almost like what happened with Skull and Bones, you know. But
Yeah.
Skull and Bones was announced after it, and it's releasing before it. So
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we will. We're not the developers. It does take a long time to do games, whether it be on the development side, business side.
mhm.
I mean, we all know it's not easy. All right, another game announcement we got coming. Lollipop Chainsaw Remake announced for 2023. Uh, a quote from James Gunn on Twitter. To answer the question in the article, neither I nor Suda51 are currently involved in this. I heard about it for the first time from Suda a couple weeks ago. So looks like it is getting a remake. Uh, I'm not really I haven't really played this game. Are you familiar with Lollipop Chainsaw? Is this something people are going to be hyped about?
You know what? It's definitely gonna have its cult following. Suda 51 makes the game No More Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So, or they used to before they stopped. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a cult following. I think the bigger thing about the game was that if you were able to like find a copy,
Mm-hmm.
um, they were being sold for like just ridiculous amounts of money for like $250 plus.
Damn.
Um, so I think that's like the biggest part of it. So when they were talking about like remaking this game, it was very much like, oh, like this game is going to be available to like a wider audience now. Like it's going to be
Yeah.
available to people that like still want to play this game, but it wasn't accessible to them because the game was so expensive.
Mm.
So I think that's going to be the biggest part about it. It could really like the game like kind of got off to a sour reception because of the protagonist being a cheerleader
Yeah.
and being in this like short skirt dancing around and like fighting zombies. But from what I remember, it was a pretty well received game, and yeah, I'd love to get my like hands on a remake because I myself was not like able to get this game because of
The
the
price.
the protagonist
Oh,
because
the
it was
brightness.
a it's a white girl jumping around with a chainsaw and a short
Mm.
skirt, so and all the
Yeah.
blood and guts, yeah, so
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is pretty brutal looking at this trailer.
yeah.
So for the most part, yeah, it does. So if you guys are into zombie games like that, definitely be on the lookout for that in 2023. Um, Another game we're going to talk about that got a release, well, not a release, an announcement. RoboCop Rogue City, and looking at this game, it's looking like a game that's just going to be straight badass. I mean,
Mhm.
let's be real. RoboCop games haven't been the greatest. That one in 2003 that came out for the Xbox was bad, and then the one on the NES, I think you actually have that game on that Creative Games that gave you that. That game isn't very good either. It was based on the original arcade game. The arcade game is actually really good. The original arcade game,
Yeah.
RoboCop: The Future of Law Enforcement. The arcade game good. The NES port not so much. But and then of course you had various releases on other platforms. The Game Boy, I don't really count that because of its hardware limitations. RoboCop 3 was okay, and RoboCop versus Terminator was they were decent.
Hmm.
But I mean, let's be real. Since we've gone into the 3D age, there's been yet to be a good RoboCop game like this, and I think we have a winner here. Like, I've been in the RoboCop for years. I've had the toys, the movies. I know they rebooted the movie about 10 years ago now. It actually was not a bad reboot in my opinion. I think it was actually pretty good for reboots. I'm
Yeah.
surprised they didn't make another one, but um, I think I've spoken enough. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I'm pretty excited about the game. I was always a huge RoboCop fan. I always, very much loved loved the loved the movie, like not yeah, loved the movies, always hated the games. Because it was too always too faithful to RoboCop. Like, it was always like a side scrolling shooter, but like he always moved, like he moved so slow that is kind of rough. So I'm kind of curious to see like what they do with this game. Because RoboCop almost had like a Jason mentality.
Mhm.
Oh, and just looking at the chat, we have some people that also obviously love RoboCop. So yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat that loves RoboCop. But yeah, he was just always just slow moving. Yeah, but just it's speaking to his Jason mentality. Like RoboCop, like he moved like a mile per minute, or like a mile an hour, whatever. Like, but he always show up ahead of you. Like you could be running like down an alley, like a one-way street. Like you can see exactly where, as soon as you turn your head, he like comes out. He comes back and he's right in front of you. But anyway, I'm really curious to see what they do with it. Just yeah, for people that haven't seen the RoboCop movies, like just super gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about drugs and family, really.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, I look back on it now. I mean, growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, RoboCop was like advertised to kids, but yet like the films were like rated R. Like, I think if my mom knew that,
J-Man, you still there? Okay,
oh
you
yeah,
cut
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I was saying is, RoboCop was just like, it was advertised towards kids, but yet like, um, yeah, the films were rated R. So like, I think if my mom knew that the films were like R rated, like I don't think I would have had any of the toys or any of the games.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, you don't really see that anymore. And I think Rambo was another example, but just like a brand advertised to kids, but it's like the movie was like brutal, like really not for kids. Like if you watch it, I know
Hmm.
it had its own cartoon show.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of a little crazy in my view, but yeah, I think both the two original films were rated R. I think RoboCop 3, I think, was PG-13. I could be wrong on that one, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see like where they take this, and a RoboCop game done right. I mean, let's be real, RoboCop was always out of its time, well, not ahead of its time, excuse me. So, with that being said, I mean, it's exciting, and if you're a youngin, don't know much about RoboCop, do your Google research right now.
Yeah. Just go
You'll be
watch the movies.
impressed. Yeah, just
Yeah.
watch the movies. Yeah,
RoboCop was a lot of fun for
yeah,
sure.
and yeah, and it's glad to see. It's good to see that he's still being kept alive. And in this day and age. So
Yeah, all the
I'm
all the people that were like kids watching those like movies are like all now adults, and
yeah,
they're everyone like we're just bringing back like all the stuff that we loved as kids and like
yeah.
reintroducing it to like the current like generations,
Mm,
which I think is absolutely awesome. It's like, oh, we grew up on this stuff, and it's like we know like our kids otherwise don't know about it, so we're just bringing it all back, and I think that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. So enough with the new game announcements. Got some more. Hopefully, we have some more for you guys next episode. Um, let's see. So we're gonna talk about some consoles not by Microsoft, Nintendo, or Sony. The first one being the Intellivision Amico. We talk about this again. They are drastically just trying to go through whatever they can to keep this console alive. A console that no one asked for, quite frankly. Um, let's see. Phil Adam, the CEO, has a couple quotes here. He says, "We have dramatically reined in operating costs, which unfortunately required a significant reduction. Resources are focused on engineering and testing to ensure we have a quality system, as we cannot succeed by producing anything less." Um, he also goes on to say here, broader distribution of Intellivision classic IP will also help raise awareness of Intellivision while not directly competing with Amico because of Amico's unique controllers and family focused gaming adaptations. All right, I've read enough. When are they
Mhm.
gonna in the trash? This is just a waste of time. It's
Yeah, I, they're definitely using all their resources to keep this thing alive. Yeah, it's interesting. I honestly don't know. I think this is gonna be like a collector's item, like maybe.
if it ever
Um,
does come out.
yeah, you know what? I think in order for them to like avoid being sued and get and ensure that this comes out, like, or in order to avoid like legal actions and everything, they're trying to get this thing out. Like they're gonna get the minimum numbers out. I'm pretty sure this was kickstarted twice, maybe three times. So they
Yeah,
have to get it out to at least the people that like did purchase it through the Kickstarter. Um, yeah, so they're gonna at least do the minimum, get it out to avoid any lawsuits, and then it's going to be just like a dead console is my foreshadowing. But they're doing everything they can to get it out. They're trying to cut costs
yeah,
everywhere. They're firing employees. They're trying to raise funds through anywhere that they can.
yeah.
They're
And
trying to sell
originally
the
we were told,
trademark. Yeah.
yeah, and originally we were told that they weren't going to be doing any kind of crowdfunding for this thing or anything like that. So now it's like, what a joke. I mean, again, a console nobody asked for, in my opinion. I mean, maybe the five people that cared hopefully get their console, but what kind of console puts out games before the console itself? I don't understand
I,
why they did that. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, once again, it's probably just to fund the console.
yeah,
If they can make money off some of their games in order to fund the console, I could see that happening. But I think for me, I think it's just sad, like for all
yeah,
parties involved, because I someone obviously had a vision
mm,
for something, a family friendly console, and I mean, it's gonna see the light of day probably, but just not in the state that they would have liked. And yeah, now it's on its last legs. So
yeah. I mean, at least Atari VCS and Ouya made it. I mean, so again, those were consoles no one really asked for either, especially the Ouya. I mean, that didn't do well at all. But
yeah, well,
uh,
yeah, it was just ahead of its time, I feel like,
yeah,
but yeah, no one asked for it.
yeah, and yeah, VCS. No one asked for that either. But I mean, it is what it is. And then we have another console that was just announced, and this one it looks like a scam. Well, I mean, look at a photo of it. I mean, well, let me explain, and then I'll tell you what I think of the look and all that stuff.
Yeah.
An NFT games console, Polium One, is announced for 2024. I guess it's a crypto NFT game console. I guess it's a Web3. It's going to be focused on Web3 gaming, whatever the hell that is. I'm just being honest. It's going to have its own Nvidia chip, I guess, and then for the most part, it's going to use cryptocurrency and NFTs for the games. This looks like a scam written all over it. I mean, first, I mean, look at the logo. I mean, it looks.
It looks like the GameCube logo.
And
That's why that's all we have is side by side right there. It looks like they jacked the GameCube logo.
I
They just
mean,
turned it a little bit.
I
Yeah.
guess it looks like it's supposed to be a P if you really look at it in GameCube G. I guess someone, from what I was told, is redoing their logo, and then the controller looks like a plastic version of like the PlayStation 4 controller.
Hmm.
And then the console itself, which isn't very big, is about the size of a Raspberry Pi with a nice looking case to go around it. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, F?
Yeah, I mean, besides the look of the console and the logo and things like that, because I mean, uh, there's small consoles that are powerhouses.
Yeah.
There's at home PCs that are tiny,
Oh yeah, at home. Yeah, they're really
and
good. Yeah.
that are really powerful. So the size doesn't matter. Controller looks like a standard controller. It looks like 1,000 controllers that we've seen before.
Hmm.
You know what? It's just this is kind of what we talked about before in terms of like blockchains and NFTs and things like of that nature, where companies very much are each trying to build their own space for other people to use, and that's kind of what Polium, whatever, however you say their
I
name
think
is.
Polium.
But yeah, Polium aims to do. They're trying to bring like the integrated wallet and storefront experience, to take the pain out of other people's, like Web3's more complex methods of ownership. Yeah, and they're really trying to make it easier for people to bring or create their own blockchains and things of that nature. So it's really difficult for people to do and very expensive to do on PCs. It can be. There's like free ways to do it also, but they're trying to simplify that and trying to take advantage of that. Um, yeah, it does sound like them trying to just dig directly at your wallet and the developers' wallets also. Um, Someone's like NFTs. How could I take advantage of this? And create it the first thing that they can think of. I think this is just bad all the way around. Like no one wants this, and you just
No one asked
repeat
for this. No one asked.
you just repeatedly see people pull away from NFTs. Like Apple just said like they're not doing NFTs. Amazon was like all about NFTs for a hot second. They pulled away. And gamers, we are loudly saying that we want no interest in this, but yet people keep on trying to push this on us, and they. So we just have, as gamers, we as a community that that enjoys the medium that we play and enjoy on a daily basis. We just have to keep on being loud and not buy crap like this, and keep on telling them like, hey, we have no interest in it. Don't even try to sell it to me. Like, don't put these advertisements in front of me, because this is we realize what you're trying to do, and we already
Yeah,
pay enough. We already pay enough for our games, and we don't want to pay any more. Like, yeah. So
yeah. 100% agreed with that. And it's like they say they're not going to be doing crowdfunding. Look at what the Intellivision Amico did. It's just like stuff like that. Like just a piece of advice, people: don't get involved. All right,
yeah,
it's scam written all over it. Just don't get involved.
yeah.
You
They're
know,
not doing
so
crowdfunding, but they are
mm,
doing a Pleum pass.
yeah,
So the Pleum pass is going to be one way that they essentially raise money. So yeah. So if you're going to use the console, I mean, you're going to have to pay for it as a consumer and as a
mm,
developer. You both have to pay the company in order to develop your games for it, and then also in order to create those blockchains and NFTs.
yeah. Well, I know for them to get taken seriously, they got to do something about that logo. 'Cause-
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
first thing.
yeah. They got to fix that logo. I mean, I'm just being real with you. That
No,
logo, yeah, can't be doing that. So yeah, okay. Now, thank you for listening to us on consoles that nobody asked for from Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. Well, not Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. All right. Moving on, some other news throughout the world of gaming. PS3 emulation on the PS5. Looks like Sony is actively trying to hire a developer to get emulation running on the PS5. PS3 games running on the PS5, so you don't gotta consistently, stream them. That would be great. I mean, do you see it eventually happening, Finance, where they can finally get the technology of PS3 games downloaded on the PS5 to work,
yeah, we've talked about
or
this a couple
not?
times. Yeah, no, for sure. They're
Finance?
hiring. Oh, what? Can you not hear me?
Uh,
Hello, Justin.
oh yeah, yeah, you're good now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. What I was saying was, um, let's see. Yeah, they're hiring up for it. So they've been hiring up for it, and yeah, it looks like Sony's gonna finally, put their money where their mouth is, and work on better incorporating emulation in the PlayStation 5 and possibly 4. So yeah, we're definitely going to see it. I don't know when it's coming or at what point, but you know they're at least looking into it, and that's more than what they were doing a couple weeks ago. So
What's a PS3 title? Well, I know you have the whole thing, but if you had to choose a PS3 title that you could just download on your PS4, what would that title be? That a game that hasn't been remastered or
bro, you can't surprise me with the questions like that. I honestly, I have no idea. I would have to search. I would have to search through my catalog. I have like 80 PS3 games, not including my digital games. And then I have purchased so many games on my PlayStation 4 already that I did have on my PS3. Like I said, I just purchased Scott Pilgrim versus the World earlier. But do you know that answer to that question? Do you have an answer for?
DuckTales, DuckTales remastered.
So you have not purchased that on your PS4?
It's on my PS3. I'm not sure. Well, I never saw it on the PS4,
Oh,
but
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's on Xbox. I'm sorry. So,
yeah.
um, yeah. So since you could play all 360 games,
uh, oh
on
yeah, yeah.
on
Okay,
the
I got it.
Xbox One X, yeah, I was like, wait, I just played that on my new console. Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing that on Series X, but okay. I guess DuckTales works.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking. Well, I mean, I know I have an Xbox One myself, but I mean, I'm just thinking about the people who just, the PlayStation super fans out there. All
Hmm.
right. Next up, Knights of the Old Republic 2 bug on the Nintendo Switch is finally fixed. Patch notes include address the crash that would occur after certain cutscenes, address an issue where the game would crash on certain the mid-late game saves, and address the issue where players could become stuck in a loading screen loop with when Sith troopers board the Ebenhawk on Paragus. I hope I said that right. It's good that they finally fixed it. It should have been fixed from the get go. I mean, you can't be putting out a broken game like that and having to reach out to developers via Twitter to see what's going on and if they're aware and all that stuff. It's funny how like when the guy first asked, they weren't even getting a response. So I'm happy to see that they finally got that. Um, what are your thoughts on that getting fixed?
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I don't, I, for the people watching today, I don't know if you haven't watched, I think it was episode 93 or 94.
93, I think.
93. We had a pretty, fun debate about this. And so please go watch that episode.
Shout out
But,
Ted. Shout out.
but yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to see that it's fixed. No game, regardless of development and things of that nature, should come out in a state where you can't start the game and finish the game beginning to end.
Mm,
This isn't 20 years ago. We're not playing games on the Super Nintendo
yeah.
anymore. This is the current generation. So um, if a game comes out, it should be able to be played beginning to end. And I'm glad to see the developers, one answered the people on Twitter that were
Yeah.
reaching out about this, that purchased the game, and then two, that they fixed it so where you can finish the game from beginning to end. And my advice to just people's yeah, don't play big massive multiplayer RPGs on Switch.
If you want, even if they're ports from a game that was made 20 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, and this has been ported like 50 times. Yeah.
All right. Good news. If you still use the Wii Shop or DSi Shop to download old titles that you've already purchased from those storefronts, they were back up and running. I know they had gone down in March,
Hmm.
and apparently, yeah, they just disappeared, and now they're back with no explanation or anything of that nature.
Hmm.
So yeah, they're back. So if you have any previous purchases from those stores, you can go download them. I wonder why Nintendo didn't comment. I'm just still trying to figure that out.
Well,
I
they
don't
said
think
it
they
was
care.
maintenance. After they got enough like feedback, people are like, "What the heck?" Like they just took the store down. Blah 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 blah. They said, "Oh, it's maintenance." So I mean, it could have been maintenance for like the last several months. We honestly don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just
But
said that.
yeah, like honestly, like a little PSA to people, like if you have like not like transferred your games or if you have not downloaded your games, go do it now. Because that shop is not going to be up much longer. I guarantee it. Like you may have like another year,
Hmm.
2 years maybe max, but that shop is going to disappear again soon. So go get your games.
Yeah, go get them. All right, looks like Xbox Games with Gold is dropping Xbox 360 games this coming October. Looks like they're making that change to the service, and apparently, I was reading through not this article in particular, but I know I've heard on the chatter online that some people are not happy about it. Um, what do I think of it? I don't think that they've been putting out very good games. I mean, we discussed some last week. What was it? That Whirlville roller coaster game and some other game I forget. But I mean, they weren't great titles. I mean, I'm just being real with you. Have they put out all the games that they could for the Xbox 360 for service, or do you think they're just trying to move on?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, we saw a
Mm,
lot of games being rehashed.
uh
Like we saw like a lot of
huh.
games that like came out like 5-6 years ago being put out again.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And the game, like you said, the quality of the games wasn't there. I think the overall conversation was that the games that they were putting just weren't good games. And then
Yeah.
once that when you're having negatives, you don't want that negative just like outlook on your console. So I think it makes sense to remove it for several different reasons.
Mm,
But yeah, I don't think it was needed at this point. Yeah, for those people that were enjoying it, just think about all the hundreds of games that you have.
yeah.
And this actually might free up Microsoft to provide you with something else. So it's kind
That
of like
too.
in the realm of like PlayStation when they took away their
Mm,
PSP titles. It's going to be it's like the same respect. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's going to be a very small audience that's
yeah.
disappointed.
I mean, if there are some people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a big audience. I mean, if they're going to keep it around, I would just like to see some better titles, regardless of what console it's on. But I mean, I know people who are taking advantage of the service. I mean, just download the games that they're giving you. Hopefully, you enjoy them. But I think this is also just a gear to just get everyone in the Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah,
That's the main goal here. But I mean, we'll see what after October. We'll see what titles they put on this service. So with that being said, if you were enjoying the Xbox 360 titles, I mean, just like Fina said, just think of the titles that you have already. Um, so we'll move on from that one. We have a delay alert. Delay alert. Forspoken delayed for the second time to January 2023. Apparently, the game is in its final polishing phase, but they gave an update to us on it, and it was originally scheduled for October 11th, but now it's being delayed to January 24th. So if you're looking forward to that game this coming year from Sony and Square Enix, excuse me. Sorry, just um, it's coming. Game's not done yet, so just you gotta understand. Just gotta be patient in these situations.
whoa, whoa,
Um,
whoa. Before you go in, I think the game is done.
you think the game is done? Then why are they
Yeah.
delaying it?
Well, for the release date was October 11th.
Yeah.
What game was just recently announced?
The one recently announced.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier in the show, or
Uh,
you mean got a release date?
got a release date.
It's the next game we're going to be talking about.
Right.
Do you want to go to it now or?
Well, I'm just saying, like, so I think the game is finished. I think they wanted to get out of the way for
Mm,
that game that we'll be talking about next.
mm,
The other aspect is like you just have all these other you have all these other big titles. Like you do
yeah.
have Gotham Knights.
Mm,
You do have your Call of Duties. You do have all these other things. I think they're just trying to polish up the game and they're trying to give it a chance. releasing in the heaviest month of the year, or not heaviest season, I should say, just releasing in Q4,
Mm-hmm.
I think would be a mistake for most new IPs.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah, just moving it to January, and just allowing it a little room to breathe, where there's may not be as much competition, is going to allow the game to potentially, be purchased more, because the game looks decent enough, but a lot of people have just been comparing it, to other games, and they're not sure what it's about. And yeah, they said they're going to release another trailer before it releases. So if it comes out in January and there's really nothing else for me to play, I can definitely see myself picking up this game. As where when it was released, the release date was in October. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm too busy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully it gets the time and light that it deserves. I mean, it was originally supposed to come back out in what, January or February this year, but
Yeah.
got pushed back. I mean, well, February was already overloaded anyway, so
Hmm.
I mean, let's be real about that. So with that being said, hopefully it's for the better, and it gets the time and light that it deserves. All right, so finest. Well, you were very close. You were very close. November 9th.
Yeah.
You're
They
off by
did
two
it.
days. You're
They
off by
did it
two
just to
days.
spite me. They did. Yeah. So Sony Santa Monica, Corey,
Yeah.
I know you, Corey. I know you listen to the show. So just I understand. I'll let you speak, and then I'll dive
All
into
right.
my
God
opinion.
of War, it got a release date of November 9th. I was banking on it coming out in October if it was on a release this year. Many people were saying November, and looks like it is going to be here in time for the holiday season. So, to that discussion we had last week toward the end of our show, I think Sony is above Nintendo right now in terms of the most ready for this holiday season, because this is going to be under a lot of people's Christmas trees, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is the big game everyone's been waiting for, and yeah, just we will. Well, actually, before we talk about the expensive bundle pack, let's talk about the release date
Yeah.
a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right off the bat, what I was saying was, so if you've been watching the show for like the last, what was it? It's been like a month and a half. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
maybe even longer, like maybe like 2 months. I've been saying that the game was going to come out 11/11 of this year, so 11/11/22, and I it's coming out on a Wednesday. So first of all, game releases generally on Tuesdays and on Fridays.
Hmm.
You games don't release on Wednesdays, but which is really weird. So I think what Sony did in this instance was they didn't want the topic to be like exactly what I've been saying, is like, oh my
They're sticking
gosh,
it to Microsoft.
they're sticking it to Microsoft, and they're they're releasing an 11/11/22 slap in the face to you, Starfield. Oh my gosh, and the world goes crazy. Sony didn't want that to be the conversation, so I very much felt like they're like, okay, they're like, let's avoid all that noise, and let's just have the topic be God of War. So let's just release it a couple days earlier, and the conversation, it would just be God of War. Um, but at the same time, now we're saying, now the conversation is like, oh, they avoided 11/11. Why did they avoid it now? But anyway, yeah, I'm off by 2 days. I really feel like I'm not off, but I feel like
You
I'm a
were
winner in
off,
this one.
but yeah, I mean,
I feel
you
like I'm a
beat
winner in
me.
this
You,
one.
you beat me. I mean, I'll accept defeat. I thought it was coming out sometime in October. I'm just being real, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's good that see that the game is getting finished. I mean, hopefully we don't have any hiccups like we've seen in other games that aren't ready, but I don't think so. I mean, this is Santa Monica Studio. They're really good when it comes to putting out games like this. So I mean, I think it's ready, and I mean, I think that they just chose November 9th because I don't even. I'm just being honest. I don't think they talked about Starfield at all when they. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was discussed, and I'm sure there's some people in Sony that wanted to do that. But I'm going to go back to what you said. Just they wanted to just just not make the topic be about God of War. Not, hey, they took the Starfield's glory. Like, what the hell? Like, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, I think it's still singing it to Microsoft one way or another. 2 days before.
Well, Microsoft sticks it to themselves.
Yeah.
Like they
Well, that
like
too.
they keep on delaying their games, and they keep on just not coming out when they say they're going to come out, or they keep on coming
Mm,
out in a state that's not up to a company as big as they are.
yeah.
But yeah, just to also follow up on last week's topic about the harassment that Sony Santa Monica was receiving and the developers were receiving just about it.
Oh
Um,
man, it's
don't
ridiculous.
like the release date was going to come out regardless, but just the people that were like harassing the developers, like, don't think this is like because of you guys. Like, you guys did not help anyone.
No,
All you guys did
absolutely
was
not. Absolutely.
make people's lives harder, and you made it even rougher decision for them to make. So just like, just be patient. Like, they're making a game that you're gonna love, that you're gonna enjoy, and that you're gonna be able to play for hours and hours and take so much away from it. So just wait, be patient, people. Like, this is you're gonna be able to buy the game when it's ready. They're not gonna put it out any earlier, but lucky enough, it's gonna be ready early or later this year.
All right, so they are gonna have some bundles, but none of these bundles will include physical versions of the game itself, and I'm still really trying to just ponder why they're doing this. But I mean, it is what it is. But looks like they're gonna have two packages. Uh, let's see, where is the price here? Well, I don't see the price, but yeah. But I'm looking at the photo right now. These big crates, like for God of War, like they're gonna have like a bunch of pieces in there and all that good stuff. Um, how are they putting out big bundles, expensive bundles with steel bookcases? And they're producing like tens of thousands of these, but they're not giving you tens of thousands of physical games. How is a company doing that? I don't understand. Like, why are you not giving us a physical copy of the game if you're buying an expensive ass bundle for a game that you want? Finance, were you planning on getting the expensive bundle for God of War Ragnarok, or were you just gonna get a regular physical copy?
No, I was just gonna get the physical copy. I'm not big on doing collector's editions and things like that. Like, just because, like, I already, like, if you look behind me, I have enough junk, and my junk just
It's
keeps
not
on.
junk; it's treasure. But
Yeah. I mean, tomato, tomato. Like,
Mm,
it's over $200 for this bundle, and you get the Mjolnir hammer. You get like some wooden dice. You get like art from the game, and all this different stuff, which is awesome. But to get a steel case and not get a game in it, like, you get a digital code. I know you want to save money, like, in different there's different ways to save money, but you are buying the game. You're not buying, like, if this was the case, they should have just sold it completely separately. They
mm,
should have said, like, hey, you can purchase this hammer, you can purchase this dice, you can purchase all this fun stuff separately, and there's a steelbook version and there's a regular version. Like, that
mm,
would have been the way to go. But to say, like, here goes the collector's edition, and here goes everything that you get, and you only get a digital code, is absolutely ridiculous. And that's why they put it in like small print, because people are going to pre-order this. They're going to get it. They're going to open it. They're going to get a code, and they're going to be pissed.
mm,
And I think we really have to, like, let people know this, and let people know what they're buying into ahead of time, because yeah, like, it's expectation that, like, when you're buying a video game collector's edition, that you get the video game, not just a
yeah.
digital copy or a digital
Mm-mm,
code. Because there's we're gonna talk more about this later, but
yeah.
yeah, it's ludicrous. I think Sony's gonna have to do damage control beforehand, and other aspect, I think, is maybe they couldn't, like, with them releasing so soon, with God of War releasing so soon, maybe they couldn't print enough copies, or have the copies of the games printed, and shipped out to everyone. maybe they're going to work on the game to the last minute, and maybe it made more sense to not print all the copies of the games, just have them in the standard cases and not in the collector's editions, because the collector's editions are going to have like more crap in them, so they're going to take longer to build those sets and compile everything. So it made more sense to just ship it with a digital code. Otherwise, they would have to delay the game even longer in order to
Yeah.
ensure that they're able to get the hammer. That's my speculation. That's my hypothesis. No, but I think this is horrible. And I think
Yeah.
they're going to have to do serious damage control. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking right now at the sets. I went to PlayStation blog, Digital Deluxe. So if it says Digital Deluxe, like I can understand. All right, you're going to get, digital code of the game, collector's edition. It doesn't say digital collector's edition. So, my thoughts is it's like, just give us the game. Just give us the game. It's not very hard. Just give us the game. We want the game. We want the physical copy of the game. I mean, if I'm getting a collector's edition of any video game, besides all the other stuff that they give you, the first thing I want is the game.
Yeah.
So it looks nice. That hammer looks sick, by the way. And then the shrine or the case, that looks really good. But I want the game, and I think it's a slap in the face to anyone that buys it. Quite frankly, I guess you can have it on your PS5 or PS4 or whatever console you buy it for. But I mean, yeah, it's yeah, and then the Jotnar edition, just even more stuff. It again, no physical copy of the game, and it's come on. They're giving us a 7-inch vinyl record with music.
Yeah.
We're getting a record, but no game.
Yeah,
A
pretty
printed
much.
voucher code for the full game on PS4 and PS5 consoles.
Yeah.
That's not good, man. Like, come on. I'll just get the launch edition.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's when you guys buy these special editions, I just have one thing for you. Make sure you're getting the game. Make sure you're
Yeah.
getting a physical copy of the game. Make sure you're getting a physical. I can't say it
Th-
enough. All right.
this was never a thing before, but now in this digital age, it's becoming so. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I beat that enough to death. So, but I mean, November 9th, if I do buy the game, I'll probably just get a regular copy of it. I mean, I got to finish the other God of War before I get dip into this one though. I got some catching up to do. I know. All right. So that's gonna do it for our gaming news call outs for this week. So we get into this week's discussions. First one being E3 is gonna make a comeback in 2023. So they are. So they are coming back. So it's looking like that the company behind PAX is going to be putting it back together. Um, so I mean, hopefully we see some improvement with this trade show with this expo for the most part. I don't know if it's going to be open to the public or if it's just going to be open to industry insiders, industry employees, and content creators, all that stuff. Well, if content creators, we could get in technically. We are content creators, so with a video games podcast. But I mean, I don't think it's a little too late. I mean, I always welcome it to come back. But I mean, the thing is, with Summer Game Fest now happening around the same time, is it going to be too much, or should they combine, or do you think everything will just be fine come next June? What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I oftentimes, like IGN had their own summer game fest thing, and
Yeah,
then
they
they
did.
had also like their game fest that revolved around Keeley's summer game fest,
hmm
and then PlayStation had theirs, Xbox had theirs. So I don't think that's by chance.
Yeah.
You know, I think all these companies do speak with each other. They all do discuss like, hey, we're planning to do this these dates, the blah blah blah, and so they all kind of not work with each other, but they work around each other. So very much, I would just see that happening with E3 and Summer Game Fest and Keighley Summer Game Fest.
Mm.
The only thing I would say, like, well, there's a couple of things I have to say actually, but is it going to be too much?
I think so.
I don't know. It depends on it depends on the announcements.
Mm.
You know, that's what everyone's there for. That's what everyone's watching. Where everyone's watching for the announcements. So I mean, if one company is able to get all the announcements versus the other, I mean, then everyone's going to watch that stream versus the other one. Not everyone tunes into every minute of these streams. So yeah, it's just going to really depend on the announcements. E3 is going to be done by PAX, which is PAX is way more consumer friendly.
Mm.
At least their shows.
Yeah.
Our shows tend to be a lot way more consumer friendly. So
I'm
I'm
excited to
curious
see
to
that.
see what they do with it.
I'm excited to see.
Yeah, because it was geared toward the industry originally, like we've talked about on previous episodes.
Mm.
So it's gonna be. I'm curious to see just how all that mixes in. This is very much what we've said it needed. We just said like it needs to be, more consumer friendly in the past. But if it's gonna go towards like developers and people that are in the industry, like I think that needs to be upfront, and then like after, like they can have all their conferences like they used to, and then after the fact, it can be for the consumers. But that's just how I see it. But
yeah,
I don't know. What are your thoughts about this?
It needs to be more consumer friendly. I mean, if they do open it up to the public, it should be limited to a certain amount of people. I think a lot of people are over it. So like if I'm like, yeah, I really want to go to E3 next year, chances are, as a content creator or as a consumer, I mean, I think I can go. I mean, I think it's kind of the point where a lot of people are over it. But at the same time, I mean, they do need to improve some stuff like inside going in, like, obviously security, long wait times. So just play some video games, I think is a bit ridiculous. I think they need to get, some more kiosks or something like that. And I think there is a way to do that. So, I mean, just avoid the long lines. I mean, you're lining up to play video games. This isn't an amusement park. You're going on a thrill ride or whatever. So they need to improve that. I mean, in a perfect world, I would just like to see all these companies under one umbrella. But I understand, even before Summer Games Fest, was a big thing. EA would always do its own thing around this time, and I think Microsoft will still be involved. Nintendo, I'm pretty sure will come back if E3 is involved. So, I mean, even though they'll do their own direct, but I think they'll have at least a treehouse. So, I mean, I'm just curious to see what how it's set up and everything. I just don't want it to. I just don't want it to be a mess like it was last year. Last year, I think it was a bit of a mess. This year, I think it was a bit more organized. So, I mean, I'm just hoping that we just see some organization and just not a bunch of different things in a million and one directions. So
Yeah, same here. But I definitely don't want to be pulled several different directions. If we can consolidate, I think the more consolidation, the better. In terms of like, hey, but at the same time, like, Jeff Keighley's show, I thought was pretty lame. Like this year,
yeah, it could have been better.
He had less advertisements versus last year, which was great, and I think that was some feedback that he heard loud and clear, and then he took away a lot of the advertisements and things of that nature. But in the same respect, just mixing in the developers and the look behinds and things of that nature, like into the gameplay, like in between the gameplay videos, I think really hurt the show. I think it could have been really condensed down a lot. I think a lot of it was really spread out and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know. Two different shows might be better.
We'll have to wait and see.
I just don't want to see any overlap.
I don't want to see repeated announcements like, "Oh, we're announcing this game," and then, "Oh, they're also announcing that." I don't want to see any of that. Like,
yeah, and just don't show me like an hour's worth of announcements spread out over like 3 days. Just give it to me within that hour.
yeah. Xbox and Bethesda. I mean, hopefully you're listening. And yeah, that show is just way too long. Thank God IGN narrowed it down to 7 minutes. Man, that's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yes. Thank you. God bless IGN for doing those videos where they're like, we take everything that we heard and we wrap it up into like 7 minutes or 5 minutes or
Yeah,
whatever.
so
And I love that.
yeah, that was excellent. All right, so I mean, hopefully E3 you return next summer. I await, and hopefully there are no delays this time. We can only hope. All right, last bit of news. GameStop. It seems like they've been doing very well in the stock market, but they had a big day in the stock market. Next day, they announced some layoffs, and we speculate what kind of future they want to go in. I don't want to get too deep into the layoffs, but it affected the CFO, Mike Recupero. Looks like he's out, and he's being replaced by someone. I think I forget her name. It's some lady though. But and then
Diana
Diana,
Jaha.
yeah,
Jaha.
yeah, and then it also affected some people over at Game Informer. So I mean they're a great community of people that keep that magazine and website running. Great writers, and you always hate to see the gaming industry hit like that. So it also affected them as well since GameStop owns Game Informer. But for the most part, though, it looks like they are trying. The reason why he was let go is because it looks like he wasn't embracing the NFT marketplace. And here we go again talking about NFTs with the Napoleon one and now this. You know, um, let's say GameStop announced it was in the NFT marketplace and it's crypto wallet. So it looks like they are trying to go to an all digital age, and I find that kind of weird because this is a brick and mortar sort of pretty much. Most of its money came from used video game sales. I mean, let's be real about this. Now they're trying to go into the digital age and laying off more of its staff and closing more stores, which they should have already done to begin with because there were a lot of Game Stops on like every other corner for a while. I know of one case where it was in a city in Southern California. One was in the mall, and then there's a standalone one which was outside of the mall, like right across the street, literally. So
Yeah.
um, it seems like when they're doing well and they're getting things right, they they just do stuff like this, and it's just like, all right, what are they focusing on? Let's say I'm reading something here. The timing for GameStop shift to focus on blockchain and digital asset Web3 gaming verticals. Again, Web3 gaming, whatever the hell that is. And then it hasn't been great. However, with cryptocurrency markets collapsing to their lowest in years and other companies racing to distance themselves from it, Meta just dumped its crypto wallet, for instance. So it seems like, with the crypto market not even doing good, and, a lot of companies, like you said earlier, like Amazon and a few others, just turning away from it, the GameStop seems to be embracing it. So with that being said, I think I've spoken enough for now. What are your thoughts on GameStop and what they want to do in their future?
Yeah. You know what? It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Like, to continuously do like significant rounds of layoffs. My work just went through like a huge round of layoffs,
Mm,
and part of that's the market.
yeah.
Part of that is just like what's going on in the current market and climate of things. But they did in 2021. They hired over 600 people.
Yeah, they did. They hired a
You
lot of
know,
people, so it's like,
they hired over 600 people. So to for them to hire that many people, and like for your forecast to be that far off is kind of man, it's just bad bad business. Like it's bad running of a company.
hmm
But they announced earlier this year that they wanted to go into into the realm of NFTs and things of that nature. It's just a really strange time to jump into that market and to double down on it, because you have so many people, like I said, like Apple and Amazon recently said like, no, we're not going to go that route. And other companies that are kind of realizing like, hey, like maybe this isn't the route we want to go, or maybe we like go into it a little bit slower, not like full force. Um, they're doubling down. They're like, hey, we're firing all these people. We need to save money, and rethink everything that we're doing. And they just did this.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, so when they hired that last CFO, they were just like, oh, we're gonna go into more brick and mortar. We want people
Yeah,
to hang out at GameStops.
yeah,
We're
I
gonna
don't get that. They wanted to put like have people playing video games in GameStop, like you
yeah.
would
And
at
they
a gaming expo or something. Like,
did you see any of that come? Like, did you
oh
see any of
no,
that happen?
no. I think
No.
they did one
It,
at
it's
like at a test store somewhere, not near me, but I mean,
yeah. Like I didn't see those anywhere. Like,
uh,
you know, out of the 50 GameStops near me. So like to have a plan and not even attempt it is one thing, and then like, but to, like, you got to at least try your plan. It's gonna cost a ton of money to reevaluate your business and redo things. But I think what they saw was like, oh, like this is a cheaper, faster way for us to make money. And I think GameStop, that's all that they've been lately.
mm,
With their stock prices like being so volatile
mm,
and just like rising out of nowhere and things of that
yeah,
nature.
that's the crazy
Uh,
part about it.
yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot to it. I still don't think GameStop has a bright future at this point. It just sucks because a lot of the employees didn't know
mm,
that they were like GameStop was going the NFT route.
yeah,
And so it's just really disappointing. There's a kind of funny episode
mm,
where a couple of the editors from Game Informer were on that show the other day, and they were just talking about their experience. So after you watch this, go watch that. Go watch kind of funny with Greg Miller and Blessing,
mm,
and things of that. But yeah, it's really
yeah,
disappointing. I'm
it is.
not happy about it. I support GameStop because they're one of the few brick and mortar stores that do sell video games out there. Maybe us supporting them will help people keep their jobs, but they do need to reevaluate their business.
Yeah,
I don't think this is the right route.
yeah. I don't think NFTs. I think just not enough is well, maybe enough is known about it. I just think a lot. I think it's just like way too far down the line in the future, or I mean, I just don't see it working at all. And with that recent crypto crash, it's like, does
Yeah,
anyone really want to go down that route? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I mean, you know how I feel about NFTs. I'm not 100% sold on them. So, for my favorite video game store to keep embracing that, hey, we're going to go to the NFT marketplace. We're going to the all digital age. Yeah, it's kind of like really.
no,
And then as for the people, the employees at GameStop and the people we support on Game Informer, Finest, was on a episode of the Game Informer show back in what February, I think February, March, something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll drop the link to the episode in the show notes if you guys want to check that out. Alex and Alex, very good guys. So definitely check them out, support them. We have your back, and we see what's going on over there, and
yeah. They're a
it's
small team.
yeah,
They're not a
they're not very big, not
yeah.
by the
Like if he likes a lot of people think they're like this huge like mega company, but no, it's like just a few people
yeah,
doing like a lot of work. And even working on our podcast,
yeah,
I know I know how exhausting that is, and we don't get paid for it. At least they get paid
yeah. At
for it,
least
but
yeah,
it's so much work, and they put in so much work into the magazine and the webpage and the online side and their
yeah,
articles. And so yeah, definitely go support them because yeah, they, they're one of the few, like the last few great companies that we have
yeah,
in the video game, like that do magazines and things of that nature, and do their like they used to do like 100 questions or 50 questions, rapid fire questions is what they call it. But yeah, I don't know. I love Game Informer. I've been watching them for forever. So yeah, go support them and support GameStop, I guess,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
but
Just
not if
yeah,
they do it in NFTs, or maybe if they do NFTs. I don't know. We'll find out.
yeah. Well, just
Yeah,
we just gotta see, what they want to do, and I mean, definitely. I mean, it's just hard to find another brick and mortar store because I mean, if GameStop's out of the picture, pretty much your main three choices in terms of like from a retail standpoint is Four: Amazon, Target, Best Buy, and Walmart. Those are like really your only choices after that, unless you can find
Yeah.
a brick and mortar mom and pop store in your town. And
Yeah, there's one close to me.
yeah.
We'll have to go visit it when you come out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And then and yeah, just there's one by me also, and I talked to the guy. He wants to start, doing pre-orders for newer games coming out. So definitely, if you can find a place where you can get new games when they come out, regardless, just definitely go with those guys because definitely they have not only current gen games but older games as well that that you and your kids can sink your teeth into. So I mean, definitely support all the businesses out there that you can. So that's enough for me there. Well, great discussion on our main on this week's discussions.
Mhm.
Let's get to the games coming out this week and read some comments. So,
All right, my favorite
oh
are
yes,
the comments.
oh yeah, the
Yeah.
comments. All right, all right. First, the game's coming out next week. Not very much is coming out next week, but we do got some games. Time on Frog Island. It's going to be coming out July 12th, and that's coming to the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Uh, July 13th, you got Loopmancer, and that is coming to the PC. July 14th, you got two games. You got Escape Academy coming to the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. And then you also got Eyes in the Dark, The Curious Case of One Victoria Bloom, also coming to the PC July 14th. And July 15th, Room Factory 5, which is coming to PC. A lot of PC titles coming out this week. I think actually every
Mhm.
title that I announced right now is coming to PC. So,
Yeah.
um, Finance, you got any familiarity on these titles, or are you just on a pass this week?
No, I mean, I can use a Rune Factory and Elden Ring. I can tell you that much. Uh, but other than that, no, I'm not really familiar with these games. I'm down to look into them some more
Mhm.
and see what they bring to the table. Um, yeah, a lot of them seem like
Yeah,
smaller
yeah,
games.
like smaller indie
I did.
titles.
I am hearing good things about Escape Academy.
Okay.
There's been quite a few outlets talking about that, so that one actually might be worth a look. Other than that, I would. I'm not quite sure. How about yourself?
I'll definitely, since you mentioned it, Escape Academy, I'll look a little bit more into that, and then I'm a little curious to see what Time on Frog Island is like. So, I mean, I
Hmm.
definitely want to give that one a go, check that one out, see what it's more about, just, and then we'll just go from there. But yeah, all of them look like smaller base titles. So hopefully next week we have more games for you. July, is kind of a slow month when coming to game releases. Usually you get a lot of
Backlog season.
backlog season. So if you have a backlog like me trying to get through Cobra Kai, jump on it. What can I say? All right. Now to our favorite part of the show. Who wrote in? All right. So it looks like we have Autumn and our old friend Matthew Bliss. Matt, if you ever want to come back on the show, you're more than welcome to, man. All right. Let's see. Let's start with Autumn. She asked me, "Did you love playing the Tiger handheld games when you were younger? The pre-Game Boy stuff." I don't think I had a Tiger handheld game boy,
Mhm.
yeah, Tiger handhelds, and I wasn't a big fan of those anyway. A lot of those I think were garbage in my opinion. I'm not. I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Uh,
I had one,
uh-huh.
but they were yeah. They're always difficult to
They were
play.
difficult, and then it just didn't look fun to me, and it depended on
Yeah.
what the what it was based on. So it was like
Yeah,
just
I had a Sonic one,
Sonic one.
and
Okay.
yeah, it was trash. Like for me, it was trash.
Yeah, trying to get a
Um,
Genesis. Yep, your parents were like, "Here, take
yeah,
this."
I rather would have had a Tamagotchi. I rather would have had a Tamagotchi over a Tiger handheld for sure.
um,
Even though they're like kind of different time periods, but
all
anyway.
right. We'll say we're not gonna read all of them, but we'll go to this one. Let's see. Autumn also asked about the new open world Terminator game. Did you hear anything about a Terminator game? Finest out of curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah, it was announced the same time as RoboCop. There's a bunch of announcements actually this week in terms of like trailers and games coming out. But yeah, I don't think there wasn't a trailer.
Yeah.
I think it was just an announcement.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. Terminator games are kind of a dime a dozen. I'm not particularly excited about that one the way I am RoboCop.
Yeah, I think for over the years it's been in the same category as RoboCop. I mean, I know they had the game based on the comics, RoboCop versus Terminator, which is actually a really good game in my opinion for the Super NES and Sega Genesis. So, I mean, definitely check those out. But yeah, Terminator. Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for that one. Matt says he loves me some Carl Urban. All right. Autumn also says, rewatching the RoboCop movies, now you realize that they were really satirical comedies hidden under a layer of violence.
That's true. They did have some. RoboCop had definitely had some good one-liners.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some funny notes.
If I get some time, I'll try to rewatch the first RoboCop movie sometime this week. I know it's going to be a busy week for me. Let's see. Autumn says Napoleon 1 looks like the Amazon ad for a PS4 controller and charger.
It does though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like like I said, it looks like a Raspberry Pi with like a nice looking case with a rip-off GameCube logo. But I mean, that like I said, if this company wants to work, the first thing they need to do is change that logo because no one is going to take them seriously.
That's probably where it like it's built off of. It's probably built off like some Raspberry Pi technology.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Raspberry Pi 4 in there. All right. Matt asks, don't you want to see where they go with it? I think he's talking about the Napoleon 1. Could be more forward thinking, and it's hardly going to be a rug pull for the hardware. I'm just curious to see. I mean, I don't want anything to do with this. I mean, if someone gets involved with this, backing it or bankrolling it or whatever, I mean, how about you? How do you feel about that?
To Matt's question, yeah, I want to see where they go with it. I want to see where everyone goes with it because right now all we have is a lot of talk. We don't have a solid proof of concept. Like everyone is talking about like what they're going to do with NFTs, and everyone has different ideas for it. But we haven't seen anything really come to fruition that's viable.
Mm-hmm.
So once I see a solid proof of concept, then I'll stop talking shit about it. But until then, like
back it up.
It's a pipe. Yeah, it's a pipe dream. So like, you know,
again, no one asked for it.
It seems like it seems like a price gouge. And I'm totally down for like things that people didn't ask for, like the light bulb, you know, like, like people didn't ask for TVs. Like it could be an innovation under the right hands, but as of right now, it just seems like a price gouge. So not excited about what we're currently being pitched.
All right, and then final comment we'll read. It's on God of War. So the theory is that God of War is coming out according to the Norse calendar. Wednesday is Odin's Day, and November is Slaughter/Butcher month, and 9th is the date of the full moon, which is known as the morning moon or darkest depths moon. Autumn, you give me like a link or source or something, but that's a lot there. But I mean,
that's a good theory. Yeah. I don't know if that's like a Reddit theory. I don't know where you pulled that from, but I think that's pretty cool. I actually when I read that comment, I was like, oh crap! I was like, that's pretty awesome. But the real reason why it's on the 9th is because Cory Barlog and Sony, they watched the show. They did it to spite me.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know. That's the only reason.
Yeah, they could have. Right, I feel they could have put it on November 11th.
No games come out on Wednesdays, regardless of Norse calendars.
Yeah.
Games don't come out on Wednesdays. They come out Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, usually AAA releases. You get a slew of like indie releases throughout the week, but yeah, mainly the big AAA games Tuesday, Friday.
Oh man.
All right. So thank you to Matt and Autumn once again for commenting, and anyone who else is watching the show either live or watching a rerun of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Game and Watch podcast. This has been episode number 95. 5 more to 100. Be sure to check us out on all our media platforms. You guys have a good one. We will catch you on the next one. Later.
Peace out, y'all.